Hello my friends and welcome to the Electric Viking. Good news, great news in fact. And in fact, it's the kind of news that I've been hearing over and over the last 6 months. Yep, just over the last around about 6 months. Skoda is another domino to fall. Now, not long ago, even Volkswagen and Audi said that ICE vehicles, in fact in 2020, so what's that, 9 months ago, even Volkswagen and Audi, the Volkswagen Group, which covers a range of different brands, said that ICE vehicles would last long into the future. Now, since then, Volkswagen and Audi have both announced that they've changed their minds. They're abandoning future development of ICE vehicles, and obviously a number of other companies have followed suit since. Now, the latest is Skoda. Now, apparently Skoda is now abandoning PHEVs, or plug-in EVs that also have basically an ICE vehicle as a generator. They said, our future is the pure electric car. Now, you're going to keep hearing this kind of news over and over and over. BMW is still spending money on developing their ICE internal combustion engines, petrol engines. They still think that that's the future. Toyota's saying the same thing. Both of those idiots are going to change their minds within, maybe they've already changed their minds, they just don't want to say it. But both of them will admit to this fact within the next, I would say, 12 months. Now, if you don't know who Skoda are, well, they're one of the biggest manufacturers of vehicles in Europe. They're now owned by the Volkswagen Group, and they're based in Czechoslovakia. Now, Czech auto manufacturer Skoda shared its plans to focus less on PHEVs in the future and instead deliver more pure electric cars. In a recent interview, Skoda CEO Thomas Schaefer spoke to the company's success last year, as well as the bright future around its all-electric Enyaq, despite a global semiconductor chip shortage. Now, personally, I'm a really big fan of the Enyaq. I really like that EV. Now, as I mentioned before, Skoda Auto. They are an automaker founded and headquartered in the Czech Republic since 1895. Now, in the 1990s, Skoda became a subsidiary to the Volkswagen Group and was later established as a wholly owned subsidiary of Volkswagen in the year 2000. As a very popular brand in Europe, Skoda has delivered some of the highest profit margins for the entire Volkswagen Auto Group. It also produces autos exclusive to China and India, as do many other companies. Now, in 2019, Skoda briefly entered the electric car market with the debut of the Citigo EV, but the entire model line, ICE and EV, was nixed shortly thereafter. To be honest, it wasn't all that compelling. Now, Skoda then followed up with the Enyaq, a pure electric crossover SUV that sits upon Volkswagen's MEB platform, and it's since been joined by two plug-in electric vehicles, or PHEVs, versions of veteran models in the Superb and Octavia, Skoda's nameplate model since 1996. Now, following the recent and early success of the Czech automakers' all-electric vehicle, the Enyaq, Skoda's CEO, has shared company plans for a zero-emissions future. Now, there's a lot of fans of the Enyaq. The reason being, well, I think one of the reasons being is, if you have a look at my 21 car test, it scored very highly in a range of different areas. So it is actually a very impressive car for a number of reasons. So, Skoda's CEO Thomas Schaefer spoke with Auto Gazette about the company's strides in e-mobility, the semiconductor shortage, and the future of electric cars. Skoda was able to sell over 1 million vehicles last year, and its CEO hopes to at least match that figure in 2021, despite clear struggles amid a global semiconductor chip shortage. Now, if Skoda was able to sell, if Skoda had the production capacity to build 2 million EVs and sell them at a competitive price, like what BYD is doing in China, or is about to do, what Tesla is doing, if they were able to do that, they could easily double their sales. But Schaefer admits the harsh production reality Skoda is already facing this year, admitting that it will probably lose around 100,000 cars off its assembly line numbers due to the chip shortage. Now, Skoda's CEO remains confident, however, that the company can still have a strong fourth quarter and hit its delivery target on the back of its Enyaq electric car. Now, fingers crossed they can. I think there's a lot of demand for their electric Enyaq. The only question is, how many of these can they deliver? Despite the semiconductor crisis, Skoda has devoted much of its resources to prioritizing Enyaq production. There is Now, this makes a lot of sense to me, considering Skoda's flagship electric vehicle has over 70,000 orders in place. Now, imagine if they were actually selling this thing outside of just a few select European countries. Imagine if they were selling this thing all over Europe and in the United States and in Canada and in Australia and in New Zealand. You can see my point, right? There's a lot of potential for this car. Now imagine if they were able to reduce the price by, say, 10 to 20% by having lithium iron phosphate batteries in this car. Well, that's the future. That's what's going to happen. Now, Schaefer, like many other automotive CEOs, I find this ridiculous, but anyway, he admitted that those numbers, those 70,000 orders, exceeded Skoda's expectations, and it will now focus on an all-electric future rather than produce PHEV versions of its other models. This is what he said. Of course, PHEV is important for fleets, which is why we are also making such an offer for the Octavia and Superb, but other vehicles will not follow suit. It doesn't make sense to us. Our future is the pure electric car. Now, why these CEOs are shocked to get so many pre-orders for these cars? Why Hyundai didn't expect and prepare for the fact that the Enyaq 5 was going to be so popular? Why Ford didn't expect to get so many pre-orders for the Ford F-150E, and now they've doubled the number of orders, but it's still nothing compared to the actual demand that's there. Why they didn't know this, I can't understand. Why did they not think in 2017, when Tesla had, 350 to 400,000 pre-orders for an unknown sedan, which was still quite expensive. I mean, it wasn't exactly cheap. It was still above the average car sales price, and they had 400,000 pre-orders for it. Why would they not have known this 4 years ago, that there would be this kind of demand? Anyway, next, Skoda plans to work through supply chain shortages to deliver as many of the 70,000 Enyaq EVs as possible this year, which is great news. The automaker has also shared plans for an Enyaq Coupe in 2022, pending supply chain issues, and a small Skoda electric car planned for 2025, priced between 20,000 to 25,000 euros, or $23,500 to $29,300. Now, if Skoda thinks it can sell this small electric car for $23,500 to $29,300 in 2025, well, I think they might have a bit of a shock coming, because the Chinese automakers are coming, whether you like it or not. It's happening. There's going to be a number of different EVs available for less than that in 2022 and 2023, and those prices are going to come down, down, down. So Skoda's going to have to probably realign their expectations there, and I believe deliver a really exceptional vehicle for that price, which they may be able to do. Now, personally, I'm actually a big fan of Skoda's. I like the image of the company. I don't know why, maybe because I enjoy cycling and they sponsor the Tour de France. But I think what it is they're more practical wagons that they have. I can't wait to see an electric wagon from Skoda. And you know what? So many buyers in Europe love the Skoda Octavia. They love the Octavia wagon. Just imagine when they make an electric version of that. They'll sell millions of them if they can make it at a cost-competitive price. Thanks for watching the channel. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.